Hey everybody, John here from incomemesh.com, and in today's video we're going to continue our landing page builder comparison guide, and we're going to focus in on Elementor today. Elementor is one that I haven't had the most experience with, but I'm extremely tempted by it because it offers a ton of great features, benefits, and efficiency gains that we're going to cover in this video. So what we're going to do is waste no time and just show you off a little bit about Elementor's homepage here, give you an idea about what it is we're going to be looking at. And what's great is they're calling it the world's leading WordPress page builder. Over 1 million professionals who build better sites with Elementor. So that's over 1 million. Now here is an interesting point. If we looked at Divi's page builder homepage, they boast over 500,000 users. The difference is though that those 500,000 users on Divi are all paying members. That's the only, you have to pay to get into the Divi ecosystem. With Elementor, they have a free and a pro, as well as some additional things we'll talk about, tier. So they have multiple tiers of membership, which allows it to grow extremely quickly. It also allows them to garner a ton of developer support within the WordPress community. You know, having that freemium model is huge because it gives you that viral growth of, you know, it's free, go and use it. And they offer a ton of value in the free version as well. But then once they've kind of got people in and they're hooked on it, they like it, then getting for that paid version is very easy. So I applaud them for doing that freemium model. As we continue to scroll down here a little bit, you can see they offer obviously marketing functionality like having sign up forms and connection with email integrations. We'll actually link up an email address here in this video. Now here's a huge one: extendable and developer friendly. And this is where I have to say something negative about Thrive. I do love Thrive. I love them to death, but they're very much a closed ecosystem. They don't deal very nicely with other developers. So on the total opposite end of the spectrum is Elementor, where, as you can see here, if I go to the next tab, they have kind of sponsored and are promoting third-party add-ons. So instead of Elementor trying to do everything themselves, which is kind of what Thrive is doing, they're trying to build everything their own. Elementor says, come on and help us build a better mousetrap. And so you can see they have Elementor Extras, Ultimate Add-ons, Essential Add-ons, Element Pack. They all kind of sound the same. But what it does, and we'll see in the videos, I'll install some of these that I own as well. It gives you more blocks, more design creativity, and allows you to build a more unique website from others that you see online, which is pretty cool. And you can also see a ton of different developers who build add-ons for Elementor. Okay, so the way this video is going to work is we're going to go ahead and start with a fresh canvas, a fresh WordPress page theme, and we'll install Elementor. We'll also install a theme that works really nicely with Elementor, and that's the Astra theme. Astra is great because it's a free theme. It also has some really nice integrations with Elementor, which I'll show you. And then we'll go through and start to build out some pages. I'll give you some commentary about what the experience is like. Like I said, I'm not as competent in Elementor as I am in Divi and Thrive, so it'll be a learning experience for me, which we'll go through together, and I'll give you my commentary. Because if you're watching this video, you're going to be in my shoes. You're going to be in that position of not knowing exactly if it's the right tool, not knowing exactly how it all works, and having that intuitive first impression is very valuable. Once we've gone through and shown you some features, I will kind of wrap it up with what I like, what I don't like, what I recommend it, who's it for, who's it not for, and all the other things. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments below. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and dive right into our website. So I've created landing page review.local, a local WordPress installation, and as we can see here, as we preview it, it is just a simple WordPress page. Nothing going on here yet. What we're going to do is really supercharge this sucker, and let me hide myself real quick. We'll supercharge this by going into Appearance and Themes, and let's put a theme in here. So we'll go to an Add New, and I'm just going to search for Astra. This isn't an Astra video, but just a little bit about it. It's great because it gives you the ability to install entire websites with the click of a button, and they work wonderfully with Elementor, which we'll see in just a moment. Okay, so we've installed it. We'll activate it now. And as we go over to Astra, we click on the theme details. Let's go over and look at the Astra options. So by default, if we view what the website looks like now, you'll see it looks a little different, not a ton different. That little succulent picture is gone. Oh, I missed that guy. But now we have a very kind of standard looking blog page. Let's go ahead and spice this thing up a little bit. And we'll do that as we scroll down here. I'm looking for site layouts. Let me just, there we go. import starter site. And this is a very unique, very wonderful offer by Astra. So we'll install this little plugin here, all to get into the Elementor settings. Okay, so now we have the ability to look at a library of possible pages. And boom, up top you can see here, this is the reason why this is in this video here, guys, because it works well with Elementor and Beaver Builder. So if I click on Elementor, what we get is a host of free and premium model websites, basically, that we can work with and not start from scratch. And you can notice here, agency means you need to be a paying member for it. Otherwise, you can get it for free here. Let's go ahead and find one that we like. You can see they really do have a lot of options. And let's go for a coach here. So look at the details and preview, and you can see it's going to build all these pages for you. It's going to build the about page, it's going to build the ebooks page, the courses page, and all this is built in Elementor, so we won't start from scratch. And what's beautiful about this is look how fast this loads. All right, so let's go ahead and install the plugins. What this is going to do is actually install Elementor for us, as well as Contact Form 7, and that's really just to power this section here. We're not going to worry about that too much. We're going to go ahead and do the installation. Wait just a moment. Okay, so it's done, and it took a little while. What it was doing in the back end, though, it was actually installing Contact Form 7 and activating it. It was installing Elementor, the free version, and activating it. It was also building all these web pages in the background and activating them. So now when we say import this site, it's going to remind you, hey, it's best to do this on a fresh WordPress installation, check. And it's not going to delete any of the pages or posts you already have. It's going to actually create a second one. If you have like an About Me page, and this is building an About Me page, it's going to build a secondary one. So now you can see it's doing the import pages and posts. So I'll speed up the video real quick until this is done. Okay, so we're all done here. We have a new website. Let's go ahead and click on View the Site. And isn't this nice? Isn't this like such a amazing feature to, Divi's great because it gives you the layout pages, and you can work through that. What I've found though is these pages are ones that I would really use and I would really build for a client. Divi's, they're beautiful. They really show off the design features of Divi, but they're not standard, and there's a lot going on. These are a bit more simple and something that I would really recommend that you could knock out of the park and do for clients or for your own website if you're starting up a new one. Okay, so we have this here. Now what we're going to do is let's personalize this a little bit. Let's personalize the About Me page by clicking on Edit with Elementor. And the way that this is going to work is I'll show you first the free version and what you can do on the free version, and then we'll install some add-on plugins as well as the Pro plugin and show you some of the additional features there. Okay, so as you look at it, it looks very similar to Thrive Architect in that you've got just a sidebar here on the left-hand side. As you click on things, you can work on them and adjust them in line. So we'll say About John Whitford. Not really going to tell you about my life, guys. I like to be a little private. But you can add your story here. Let's go ahead and find an image we want to add in. We'll click on this little grid icon here, and you've got the available icons here. And you notice Get More with Elementor Pro, so they're already kind of marketing to you to upgrade there. You also have the ability to look at WordPress specific items like recent posts. If I drag this in. So not a whole lot of recent posts, but actually I think they added some sample posts here for this layout. That's pretty cool. Become a great conversationalist. I did not put that there. So you can see how many posts to add. Let's just say 3. I think if we had featured images, it would show those as well, or at least give us the option for it. And let's just walk through these a little bit. So headers, images, text editors, videos, buttons, etc., etc., etc. A lot here. Let's take a look at the icons here. Let's add an icon just above my story. If I click on it, oh, lovely. You can search. So I can say gear, because I am an engineer. And we'll say we want this to be framed. And I like these animations as you're working through, stacked, framed. This is nice. For example, if you were in Thrive Architect and trying to do this, it would be multiple clicks. You'd first have to add a border, add padding, add margin. This actually just gives you a select number of options, but it does save you some time here. You can add a link if you choose to. Looks like you don't have to add a link though. Put the alignment here, give it some styling, the primary color. Very beautiful. Let's go with this green. And then under content, good to go. So Very easy to add icons. Go back to our items here. What I want to do is let's add 3 together by using some columns. So if I just type for column, looks like we have intersection. Let me move this around. And okay, so I see what's going on here. Ooh, they say meet right click. Okay, great. So you also have the right click functionality within Elementor. I'm really liking this. This is very efficient. I can see saving as a global item as a Pro feature. So we'll activate Pro and show you global items as well. But what I really want to do is add 3 of these side by side above the My Story. So what I'm going to do is click on this little plus button above this section here. And you can see you can either drag a widget directly in, but I'm going to hit plus and change my site structure or this section structure. And let me get rid of this guy here. Delete that little padding area. And now what I should be able to do is take this one icon and just drag him into that small section here. And I'm going to try to hit Control. Yep, Control C and Control V also work, which allow you to copy and paste. And let's do that again. Bring it over here. And let's just make some small adjustments here where genderless. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to talk about that. Let's put arrow. Let's make it right arrow. And here, let's make a chart, area chart. Very engineering, right? So that's the look I'm going for here. Let me show you something real quick to help style these around. You don't have to always pick individual styles from the get-go. You can actually create default colors, and default colors are disabled right now. I don't like that. I want to have them available. So I'll update this page. And let's go to Elementor settings page and walk through that together. And disable default colors. Checking this box will disable Elementor's default colors and make Elementor inherit the colors from your theme. That makes a lot of sense. And disable default fonts. Okay, same thing. So this makes sense. If you want your theme and your page builder to be the same styling, you can disable that feature. Let's just enable them for now by unchecking. It's a little counterintuitive. And let's refresh this page to reload the builder. Okay, so here we are again. We're back where we were before. Let's go to default colors. And now you can see you can add color palettes with the click of a button, where if I click this and I say apply, and let me add a new icon just to kind of prove this point here. Let's make an icon box. So now what's actually happened is it has added my primary color automatically for that widget. You know, some page builders will just pull in like a gray widget or whatever color they decide to put there for you. This is smarter because it knows what your color palette is for the entire website, so it can kind of meet you halfway and make it easier for you. So let's go here and again do a stacked version, and you can see it helps you make your stuff look nice, and I really appreciate that. So here for spacing, if I drag it, you'll see it's creating some vertical spacing there. Let's also give it some padding. Okay, this is just for the image padding. So a very nice builder here. Let's see if we can multi-select. I'm not seeing the ability to multi-select. So let's just center these guys one by one. Okay, very easy to use. Let me get rid of this. So now we're starting to build out a page here. And if we go to style, let's go back to the primary color and see. Okay, great. So now that I'm clearing these colors that I manually put in, it's going back to my primary color. And if I clear that, I'm back to primary. I should be able to. So this is interesting that the color scheme down here does not look like the color scheme I have for my default colors. I would expect to see that yellow somewhere when I'm adjusting my style. And I'm seeing more like the theme default color. So that's a little interesting. We'll take a look at that a little bit deeper. And then finally, let's go in here and just give it a different color. Oh, it's too similar. Looks good. Let's go ahead and play with some more items here. Let's just see what our headers can look like. So when I drag a header in, and again, you can see the header text has also actually taken on the color of my primary color for the theme. And you have the ability to do H1, H2, all the way down to 6s and span and paragraph. So far, from what I can see, this would not be this would be just as easy to build a blog page or a blog post using this page builder as well, which I like making kind of interactive, very fun blog posts. So this is a very interesting tool. Let's take a look at the buttons and see how they look, because buttons is one of those things I kind of struggle with Thrive. There's just so many different settings, and it takes a while to get it to look just right. Let's see how nice this one is instead. Large, extra large. You can select an icon for the buttons. A left arrow doesn't make a whole lot of sense, so let's go ahead and interpreting. Okay. So now this is cool. Whereas the headers created the primary color, came in with a primary color, the button is intelligent enough to know this is a call to action button. So let me actually go for the highlight color. I think they call it the accent color here, which is useful. So you got primary, secondary, text, and accent. If I were to switch this around, boom, I've already just changed it to the Joker. Which I was watching Batman the other day, so I appreciate the Joker scheme here. And it moved your accent to red. And if we click around again, you'll notice it's not across the board. So this color here looks like it's a custom blue that was brought in by this theme. It's not all linked up to your primary colors. But already looks pretty cool, the changes that you can do with just a click. So already I'm very impressed with Elementor and the free version, what it offers you. Let's take a look at some of the things it's not offering that I can see right off the bat, and then we'll add in the Pro add-on to see if we get all the functionality that we need. So one thing I'm noticing here is I don't see any place for you to actually collect leads. And I personally, I can't stand it when you see people who have beautifully designed web pages, but then they just embed the HTML code from ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign. Not because there's anything wrong with that. I mean, it's fine. It gets the job done, but it kind of breaks up the clean design that you have. You have this amazing layout and then this out of place opt-in form. And it also, I believe, I don't have all the data here, but that can impact your conversion rate, because right at the point where it's most crucial for your readers to put their information in, if it looks different, if it's not on brand, it can just be a little weird. So let's go ahead and install the Pro add-on and review some of the changes that we get with that new additional functionality and see if some of those issues are corrected. So to do that, we're going to save and exit. Let's update. And this is me being a newbie. There's exit to dashboard. Now let's go ahead into our plugins, and I'll add a new plugin. And I'm going to upload the Elementor Pro. All right, and we'll activate. And now let's go back and let's go into a blog post, and let's create a new blog post using Elementor Pro. So what we'll do, you can see some of the Astra settings here. We'll just leave it as default and just add a featured image real quick. Oops, and let's actually show you. So in the media library, because of that one-click Astra install, it actually gave you everything. It gave you a ton of assets that are all yours to use now. So we'll just go and take this image of a computer just to give us something to work with. And let's say, since it's comparing laptops, let's go ahead and make that the post. So you can, of course, write your post. You can write it in the normal WordPress editor or Gutenberg if you're feeling frisky, or you can go straight into edit with Elementor. So here you see we actually have the WordPress content here, and this is so lovely. What I'm seeing here is that in other builders, like I think Divi and Thrive are both this way, if you have WordPress content brought in, you won't be able to naturally edit it on the page. You're going to actually have to go in and go into another little modal that'll pop up, make your edits, and save it down to have it reflect here. Looks like here I can actually copy and paste and do everything I would expect to do right here. So this is getting some major bonus points here for that flexibility. So we can also, so this is our H1 tag. Looks like the featured image didn't show up, but that was just a setting to do. We can drag an image in, select our image, make this guy look all happy. And we can go in and just say, let's start making our text. And so you can't click, you have to drag it over. And now it looks like you have the ability of either writing it out on the page or doing a little sidebar edit. That's nice. It's nice to be able to do that. Looking at this drop cap, I don't notice the drop cap actually happening. Oh, there it goes. Very nice. Nice little touches here. Adjusting your alignment, which looks really strange with the drop cap. You also have this advanced area here. So what I don't see, which I would like to see, is the ability to search for the setting that you really want. I'm not seeing that. So you will need to learn this interface and know exactly where to get to. But it looks like it's not too hard to understand. Style and advanced are the two areas. Scrolling effects in content. So pretty intuitive interface it looks like. Let's also see here we have a global widget. So let's go ahead and design a global widget and show you what that looks like. And let's make this global widget an icon box. Oh, so already with Elementor Pro, you can see, golly, this added a whole lot on here. You can see now you have a Pro setting. So you have basic building blocks, Pro, General, Site, Single, and WordPress. So Site, Single, I think is Pro, and WordPress was there before, but there might be additional items here. Wow, so it gives you the ability to add your site logo in, a search form. Let's just see what that looks like. This is really, really nice, really intuitive. I'm a little bit surprised with how intuitive this is, especially for free up to a Pro. It really does a good job. So let's go ahead and make, like we said, let's make a global item, and we'll use some Pro features to do so. So let's make an animated headline. And this is so nice. So now you can make these really dynamic things here. You do need to use your sidebar because this is going to control what is animated, what is not. So before the animation, we're going to say, so this blog post will teach you skills. And what we want to do, instead of doing a highlight, let's do a rotating one. I like this a lot more. So this allows you to put several different call out phrases and it'll rotate through them. So this blog post will teach you skills, love, happiness, and Elementor. And as you watch, it's showing up directly on the screen as you're doing it. I don't care for that motion though, the typing motion. Instead, let's do a wave. This blog post will teach you skills, love. So a very nice way that it's kind of rotating through. We can adjust this from an H3 to an H2. And it'll keep all your settings as you're going. Just awesome. So let's go ahead and create some more. Let's put underneath this, let's put a little flip box underneath this guy. And now you can notice that nice, smooth, fluid animation where they don't know there's a call to action here, but then boom, there it is. So we can adjust this. Sure, glad you're here. Mouse over to learn more. And as you mouse over, let's see what happens here. So how do I actually adjust the back? Okay, great. So you've got the front, the back, and the settings. And then here. All right, download my free guide. You'll be glad you did. I'm not a big fan of these colors here, but I don't want to waste time doing kind of silly things. So now let's take a look at your button options. This is one where I like the ability to have different types of options. And it looks like you have to have a link here. So what I'm curious about is, can you do pop-ups? Oh, very nice. Oh, so cool. I'm not sure if you can do pop-ups or click pops, however you like to call it, with the buttons. Does not look like it. We'll keep looking for that ability. That is kind of an important one for a marketer. I also want to look at the colors here. So the background type, classic or gradient. Let's do classic. And that was going from, sorry, I'm clicking around here. Let's go for a color. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan that it doesn't pull in the preset colors, but I can't really knock it for that. I mean, it's doing things that Thrive currently does not do at all. And then let's go to the front, the back. Very nice. Okay, so now let's find out. So we've created a headline and this button. Let's do a form below. And this is where we're going to start seeing the email marketing integrations. So let's say we don't want the name. We do want email, and you can even add in additional elements like message or radio buttons. So let's say profession. We can make it required or not, and the options are freelancer, stay at home, dad, other, or what, just have some fun with it. So now we've got, I don't want this to be the full width, so let's go ahead and column width. We don't need 100%, let's do 80%. Let's edit the widget. Okay. So now let's, on the submit button, what do you want to have happen? So send, or you can say subscribe. If I could type. Size the button, make it extra large, okay. Nice and easy to adjust. Column width of the button, if I did 40%, you can see making some adjustments there. And now alignment, center, so this is aligning just the button itself. Interesting. Okay. So we've formatted the button. Now actions after submit. Now let's take a look here. So now you could either have it just send off an email that would email to whatever you say here, whatever your options are, or you could do MailChimp, redirect, webhook, drip, ActiveCampaign, get response, ConvertKit. So this is a negative on Elementor. They don't have a ton of email integrations. They do have the big hitters. MailChimp, Drip, ActiveCampaign, and ConvertKit make up probably a good majority of email marketing users. I'm currently using MailerLite. So if I were to use Elementor and keep MailerLite as my email marketing service, my options are either to have another plugin like Thrive Leads, which I probably would do, or it would be to embed MailerLite's form directly in. Not an option. Or I could maybe do a special webhook, and that's just a little techier than I want to handle. So we'll skip over the form submissions here because I don't want to link up my ConvertKit account right now. But we'll just, that's something just to keep in mind. It's not going to be the most compatible with all other email marketing services. Okay, and then you can add different messages and do custom redirects once they've done it. So what's kind of interesting about this is you can say as many actions as you want to. So you could probably do a drip and an ActiveCampaign. And what happens is you'll notice for every one of these actions you've added, it'll add its own menu section for that specific action, which makes a lot of sense. It's pretty intuitive. It's not having to click and click and click through different screens to set each action up. It's right here, pretty quickly and easily to do. Okay, so now what I want to do is see if I can save this as a global item. So what I'll do is I'll right-click on the section itself, and I want to say Save as Template. And I'll call this Example Template Rotating Headline, and I'll hit Save. Okay, and now let me go further on down the page, and let's see if I can input this here from our template. So now under templates, you are given a few options. There are some pre-built, pre-designed blocks that come from Elementor. You also have entire pages if you want to not start from one of their pre-built sites, but add an individual page in. This would be great for probably landing pages. As we see here, you've got a big sale, so clearly a landing page option here. A lot of these are pro-specific pages, which makes total sense. Or you can go to My Templates, which is what we just built, and insert this. Let's preview it first. Okay. And you can see that's exactly what we did. And you can see how it all works very nice and fluidly. Let's insert it. You also want to import the document settings. May override previous settings. Let's say no, because yes was red. So you can see the global items working really nicely. Really, really impressed with this builder. Let's do one more thing because it's such an important feat that Elementor allows other third-party developers to add onto their plugins functionality. Let me show you just one of those extra plugin packs that we're going to add on top of Pro. So just before we do that, let's go and take a look at what is in the Pro section here. You've got a lot of different options here. I won't read these all off, but what I want to do is show when you add an additional pack on top, what additional functionality you can get. So to do that, let's exit the dashboard. Let me save this. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back into our plugins here from the dashboard and add a new plugin. I've also picked up the Elementor Extras plugin, and like I said, there's so many of these. I'm just going to pick one at random to check out this functionality additional to the Pro functionality. And I want to show you one other, which is called Anywhere Elementor, which is kind of a game changer. So let's go ahead and activate the extras, and let's also go and add a new one again, and do upload plugin and show you Anywhere Elementor as well. Now, the overview of Anywhere Elementor is the ability for you to use the page builder in your header and your footer and your sidebar and create templates as well for all the other parts of your theme. It's not it may be a full-blown theme builder, but it's a little bit different from what I'm familiar with on those things. So let's go back into that post we were just playing with. And you can see here, become a great conversationalist. I just want to show you on Astra side, they actually create a sample blog post for you with their own sample featured image, which I think is kind of funny. Okay, so here we are on, that's not it. Comparing laptops, edit with Elementor. So let's see, first of all, what is added from our additional. We have Pro, General, Site, Single Word. Now here's Elementor Extras, and some of these are just like really cool. So you've got additional buttons, breadcrumbs, circle progress switchers. So these are things that you don't find on the Pro version. And I want to show you this one in particular. This is one that I love playing with. So they give you an image comparer. So if you're like a fashion blogger or something where like a food blogger before and after, you can actually upload an image of like the ingredients on the one side. Let's see if one would make sense. Okay, yeah, so this might make sense. So you can add one image on the left side and one image on the right side. And what it'll create for you, I probably need to actually do a preview. Let me do a quick preview. And you can actually do image comparisons on original and modified is what they call it, but you can obviously change that text. So this is before, after, etc. So if you're doing like a review post where you want to compare the quality of two different cameras, this is going to be an amazing tool for you to make that really pop. Show a couple others here. Let's go down to the bottom and show you some breadcrumbs. Okay, this is just breadcrumbs for the theme itself, how you got to where you're at. Nothing too fancy there. Devices is kind of useful. This gives you the ability to upload your own images and put it into mockups. Interesting that's an actual block. I would think that would just be part of the option set for image modules, but I guess they try to do that to simplify the whole process for you. So on the screen, you can choose the image, and let's say you want to pick one that's a similar aspect ratio. Okay, so it looks like this image isn't quite large enough to go the entire way around, but you get the idea of what that module can do. Let's also go back in. There's one in particular that I did see that I wanted to try. I like this timeline structure. So this is one where as you're scrolling, you can actually create this following trail that's going along with you, and you can see how it's creating different little stop points along the way. You can adjust your timeline, add a new one, give an additional date, time, name, and just very interesting dynamic things that, for example, if Thrive chooses that that's not important enough for them to spend their time on, if it's not big enough as a conversion element, you won't be able to do it with Thrive Architect. But with Elementor, any developer can go in and create an additional add-on pack, make some money along the way, and there you go. It's very extendable. So very impressed with this. Let's go in on our settings over here. Let's see here, extra settings. You can see where the extra settings are set. Not that big of a deal. And global settings as well. You can give your fonts, your width, all the little things. You can see how you control image light boxes that pop up when you click on your images. So very easy to use, not overwhelming. It's a nice little doable way to build pages. And I will say it's easier than Thrive Architect, even from like a first glance perspective. It may not have quite as many options. Like with Thrive, you can build whatever the heck you want. But with this, it seems like you can do enough while keeping it easy and simple, which I do appreciate. So let's go ahead and exit out of here. And I want to show you Anywhere Elementor before we wrap up this post with my kind of initial impressions and thoughts. So if we hover over Elementor, now you can go into, there it is, Anywhere Elementor templates, and we can take a look at what we have. Should be blank right now. So Anywhere Elementor, let's see what exactly that means. So now you can see what type of template is this? Are you making a post template, a block layout, a search template? So let's go ahead and make a post template applicable to single post layout. Okay, so preview post. Okay, so we just did the laptop comparing laptops, and auto apply. So what you're doing here is you're actually going to structure the blog post instead of just being featured image and then text and then all your content below, which is like the standard WordPress way of doing things. You can actually move things around and create your own unique template that all your blog posts can have applied to them. So let's go ahead and auto apply this, and let's edit this template. We'll just call this post template example. And we'll edit with Elementor. I'll hide myself so you get the full view here. Okay, so now what you'd want to do is, let's say we want to have the heading for the text, for the post itself. We can go up here, and when you click on this text here, we can actually say dynamic, and this is going to be the post title. Post template example. Okay, well that's not the post title. And then you can have a link to it. All right, that'll be good. Here we've got our title. Let's also go back in and add the category. So we'll do a text editor right beneath it and adjust that to also be dynamic content. And let's put the post date here. November 7th, that's correct. And let's see if we can also, what I want to do is create a second line. I think I need to just copy and paste. So we'll Control C, Control V. And now on this version, we can make, say, category. I'll do author name, admin. And also I want to bring these together a little bit more. So let's go to style. And I think this is going to be advanced section here. And I want to reduce the margin on the top. Okay, so what's going on here is linked. Let me undo that. Let's go to 0 for everything. Take our link off and bring it up. So there you go. Brings those pieces together. And let's take the featured image and let's add a featured image here as well. That's by taking an image. You know what? Let's actually, I want to make this a little fancier. So let's make the background of this entire section, edit this section, and on dynamic background, yes. So the source is going to be the post. Image size is large. Background size, let's do auto because I'm not quite sure what that one is yet. Dynamic link. Okay, so I think this should give me the featured image of the post. Let's go ahead and save a draft. Oh, we probably need to put the content of the blog post as well, don't we? So let's go back in and add text editor. And let's make this dynamic as well. And let's make this the post. Oh, Here you go. So actually, if you go to AE template elements, you can easily go and put the post content right here below. Okay, so here's our post that we're playing with. And I think I lost my header somewhere. So let's go back in and make this easier for ourselves by going down to Elementor Anywhere, and title should be called post title. Comparing laptops. Here we go. So now we have a brand new way of formatting our posts. We could actually take the background image and make that the featured image there. A lot of different things you can do. I'm not as advanced with the Anywhere tool set yet, so I'll go ahead and publish this and go back in to see what it looks like. Look at the post we've made, and we view this now. What you should see looks like it didn't take it. So let's go ahead and edit the post and see if we need to apply that template here. Set a featured image. There we go. So AE post template. You got the global template there. So now we are good. And if we view it, now you can see you've got the template applied. So it's a lot. It's a little intense, but the point of it is you've got a lot of extendability with Anywhere Elementor. So let me wrap this up real quick, because we're going a little bit long on time here. I think Elementor is an amazing product. I think their working with Astra is so smart. It's such a nice little way of doing client-side work where you can build them a beautiful looking professional website literally in the click of a button. Like, it's weird when people say that because it's normally not true, but here it actually is. The page builder is unique. It's intuitive. It's easy to use. It's fast. It's front end. You can edit it right there on the page. And it has a free version. So there's literally no reason for you not to give it a try. So if you want to give Elementor a try, download the free version. Just go to incomesh.com/Elementor, and you can kind of take a look at the entire product line. And if you want to dive into Pro and give their money-back guarantee a shot, go ahead and please do so. I'd appreciate it. And let's just show you real quick what their pricing structure is. So if you were to get started on the personal side for $50 a year, you can do the theme builder, like where I was trying to show you there, the Pro widgets, the Pro templates, a year of updates, and a WooCommerce builder, which I haven't even shown you. But if you're working on e-commerce, being able to make your WooCommerce pages beautiful is really nice for conversions and just nice to work with. And you've got that 30-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. So what it looks like is they do not have a lifetime access to the tool set, at least not normally. We'll see what happens for Black Friday. But one site, 3 sites, or unlimited sites, $200 a year. If you're turning clients around and you're doing a lot of work, this would make a ton of sense. Otherwise, the personal would be a great place to dip your toes in the water. So this is John here from incomemesh.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value out of it. If there's anything about Elementor you'd like to learn more about, put it in the comments. I'll go ahead and update this video over time. And if you want to see the full comparison of Elementor, Divi, Kartra, Breezy, Thrive Architect, I'm adding more as often as I possibly can to make it the most complete and useful guide on the internet for landing page builders. Go ahead on over to incomemesh.com and you'll see that post right there on the homepage. So, all right, guys, I'll sign off for now. See you in the next one.